Are you looking for cheap places to visit in 2023 to add to your travel plan? These places show that you don't have to spend a lot of money to get your wanderlust fix. You have to be smart about where you go and what you do. There are many good things about going to cheap travel spots. The most obvious benefit of cheap places to travel is that there are less people there. Many popular places are expensive because most local businesses and tourism businesses take advantage of the large number of people who visit. So choosing cheap vacation spots will let you enjoy attractions and activities without crowds. Welcome back to our channel Travel Tales. In today's video, we will share with you the top 10 best cheap places to travel around the world. So without any delay, let's dive in. Macedonia. Macedonia is one of the Balkan countries that gets the fewest tourists, but it's one of the best places to visit in this part of the world if you are on a tight budget. It seems to be one of the best kept secrets in the Balkans because it doesn't get as many tourists as its neighbors. With its own monuments, sculptures, and buildings, the capital city of Skopje is a great place for people who like architecture. These are places that you can visit for no cost. You can also walk to the Old Bazaar and the Restaurant Row to try local food at better prices than in the more touristy areas nearby. Visit the area around the Lake Ohrid if you are in Macedonia. Take a full day boat trip around Lake Ohrid and learn about the area's history and beauty. The area also has some of the cleanest lakes in the Balkans, which are great for fishing and canoeing and are free to visit. Mexico. Mexico is one of the world's most popular places to visit. Mexico is a budget traveler's dream because it has a lot of fun cities to visit and some of the best hotels. But not many people know that if you go to the right places, it is also one of the cheapest places to travel. For example, Tulum and Oaxaca are less expensive than Cabo San Lucas and Cancun, which are more well known. You could live in this country on $40 a day if you were smart about where you went. Mexico has a rich history of great food, and yet the food is very cheap. Expect to pay between $8 and $15 per day. This great guide to the best restaurants in Oaxaca will make your mouth water. Romania. Not all trips to Europe are expensive. For example, a trip to Romania isn't too expensive. It's very cheap, and you will love exploring its cute towns and many free things to do. Even though the country is known for stories about Dracula, it is a very friendly, safe, and inspiring place. Their medieval villages are unique, and the people who live there are friendly and helpful. Romania is a great place to go if you want to get a taste of Europe on a budget. You can take a walk through their cute little streets or relax in the park. The historical sites and free walking tours are a must-see. It's easy and cheap to get around. There are also many hotels that don't cost much. If you want to save money on food, you can buy fresh local foods that are cheap. You can buy bugs at their market and use them to make food. Vietnam. Asia is a popular place to visit because it is a cheap place to stay. Asia has beautiful weather, interesting history and culture, and a lot of natural resources. Here, you can check out a long stretch of white sand beaches, islands, and a lot of other beautiful places. Vietnam is one of the best places to visit in Asia. This place is great for people who like to eat. There are lots of tasty treats that are very cheap. Also, the foods that they make themselves are healthy. For $1, you could get a hearty soup with a whole pork shank or a cup of strong coffee. It's easy and cheap to find a place to stay in Vietnam. There are hotels, inns, and other cheap places to stay all over the world. In Vietnam, it won't be hard for you to find a nice place to stay and relax. Indonesia. Indonesia, another popular country in Asia, is a great place for people who want to try something new. There are many things to see and do in the country, but if you only have a short amount of time and money to travel, do not worry. Spending more time in one place in Indonesia gives you the chance to learn more and have more meaningful and memorable experiences. Indonesia is a great place for backpackers to visit. They are likely to like how easy it is to get around and where they can stay. There are a lot of hotels, and they are often the best places to stay if you want to meet the new people and make friends. When it comes to food and drinks, they are both tasty and inexpensive. You can spend all day hiking, chasing waterfalls, or hanging out at the beach. Your ability to bargain can come in handy, especially when you're shopping at a local market or setting up a bike ride. The Philippines. If it isn't the peril of the Orient Seas, the Philippines is a must-see country because of its vast landscapes, clean beaches, and awesome cities. It is made up of more than 7,000 beautiful islands, and most of them have hidden gems that you will want to find. The best thing about the island cities of the Philippines is that both modern infrastructure and tropical vibes are close by. You can go shopping in malls and hang out with people in clubs. If you are in the mood for water sports, you can find resorts about an hour away. Most people visit the Philippines to enjoy its tropical atmosphere and try its popular underwater adventures. People go there to surf, dive, and look for waterfalls. On the other hand, you might want to see the country's beautiful landscapes and lush greens. Colombia. Colombia is a great place to visit if you are interested in history. There are many historical sites and museums that can help you learn more about the dark and interesting past of the country. If you love nature, you should go to the Amazon. Some of the best places to dive in the world are in Colombia. They also have beaches that are beautiful. Since most things like food, lodging, and transportation are cheap, you will have more money to spend on occasional splurges. If you want a nice villa, you might want to go the extra mile. Come here to find the best hotel. This can make your trip to Colombia better and more fun. South Korea. South Korea is a place that doesn't get enough attention. South Korea is one of the best undiscovered places in the world, in my opinion. The prices are comparable to those in Southeast Asia. The food is delicious and varied. The scenery is stunning, and the nightlife is busy. It is one of the most underrated places to visit in the world. Since 1 USD is worth 1,100 won in South Korea, it's hard to go over budget here. My friend and I each spent $8 at a Korean barbecue with drinks. At 7-Eleven, you can buy a bottle of beer for less than $1. Trains are affordable. Everything here is fun, cheap, and different. South Korea is the place to go if you want a cheap trip to Asia. The Philippines. It can cost a lot of money and time to get around the Philippine archipelago, and there are not as many hotels as in other Southeast Asian countries. There are ways to keep travel costs low in the Philippines, even though these two things tend to put off travelers who want to get the most out of their money. If you want to go out of season, book your flights and plan your trip well in advance. It is not a place where you can always make things up as you go. If you try to stay in only 1 or 2 areas, the Philippines can still be cheap. Also, the country has some of the most beautiful islands, dive sites, and hidden gems that you would have to pay a lot more for in other parts of the world. Porcelain. Ever since Marco Polo crossed the Silk Road, people have been interested in China. The days when China was one of the cheapest places to visit are over, but the country is still one of the cheapest in Asia. With one exception, you should leave the big cities. Even so, the cities are still a good deal. There are hotels that cost less than $20 per day. Food costs between $2 and $5 per meal, and public transportation in cities costs less than $1. But if you get off the beaten path and go inland, the country gets even cheaper. Here you can find the best travel deals and discounts. Still, it's one of the least expensive places to live in the world. That's it for today, guys. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to get the latest update about the fresh and interesting content we keep on posting. See you in the next one.